Just picked this up the other day. I could take my spray game up a level. I'm going to see if I can get this on my grandstand nice and securely, like I am envisioning that I can. And like I said, it's really going to step my game up because I won't have to worry about using backpack sprayers or getting a big tank to put in the bed of my truck or in my trailer or something with a hose. This way I can just keep utilizing my grandstand as the workhorse that I intended it to be. When I originally wanted to get a stander, I thought about it being a multi-purpose machine, not just to mow lawns. And this is before the Toro Multi-Force even came out and all that stuff. I just wanted the most versatile machine, which is why I wanted a stander versus a sit down, because you can just get on and off so quickly and easily. You can see everything a lot easier all around you and in front of you. But also I know that there's a lot of different attachments out there for zero turns, whether it be a stander or sit down, whether it's aerating attachments, dethatching attachments, spreader attachments, all different types of attachments that some of these companies are coming out with, and new companies are being created with their own versions of attachments. So I just thought about it being like a workhorse, and what additional services can I do with the grandstand with specific attachments, or what services am I already doing that I'm not being as productive doing them, which means I'm not being as profitable doing them, that if I invest in, you know, a specific attachment like an aerating attachment or a dethatching attachment or whatever, a giant spreader attachment, that I can increase productivity. Instead of me running around with a spreader, for example, I can just be on the grandstand and drive around on the grandstand with the spreader, and I can be quicker and more consistent with my speed and just cover an area in a shorter amount of time to get me to the next yard for spreading seed, for example, like when it comes aerating and seeding season in the fall. So these are just things that I thought of way ahead of time, and the first step was getting the grandstand, which is what I finally got last year. But again, I planned this for years now. This has always been part of my business evolution. So I also thought about how I can turn it into a spray rig without having to spend another, you know, 10, 15,000 bucks for a separate spreader sprayer machine that pretty much every major manufacturer makes now. And I know a lot of them are really good, like Z-Spray. I've heard a lot of good things. Permagreen is like one of the original ones, and I still hear good things about them. And that's all great, but again, that's an additional machine that you have to have room on your trailer for, and that you have to pay for, and then you also have to maintain, versus just getting attachments for a machine that you already have. Yes, I know that this is not going to be the same as having a spray rig of some sort, whether I have a standalone machine, you know, that like a Z-Spray or a Permagreen, or I get a tank on my truck. All of those things are their own different options, and I don't know if one is necessarily better than the other. I haven't tried any of them. I've seen everyone doing different versions, but for me and my business, this is what I'm thinking about and what I'm doing. So I'm going to see how good this goes, and again, I'll probably progress to another level when the time comes. So right now, for the half a dozen or so yards that I have right now and still growing, as far as treatment goes, this works. I can fill this 26-gallon tank up once and go spray all the yards that I have in one morning, whatever it takes, in a couple hours or whatever, to drive around to the half a dozen yards that I have and just knock them out. But the point is, I won't have to keep filling up my backpack sprayers that I already have for other stuff, for Roundup, for broadleaf, all that kind of stuff. But it's always good to have backup sprayers as backups, and also for Roundup, it's a lot easier to use a backpack sprayer, especially a powered one, when you're doing cracks and crevices, if you added that on to your client's services. So you're always, when you're there pretty much every week or every other week, however often necessary, you go around, you spray all the cracks and crevices around the hard surfaces, and if they want you to spray in the mulch beds carefully without spraying any of the bushes and plants, just to keep that maintained instead of pulling it, whatever. But it's a lot easier than having one of those little hand can pumps that I also have, but that's from being a homeowner. Since then, I've bought commercial backpack sprayers. I have a manual one and a battery powered one. And again, this is, I've worked my way up. I started with the little hand can homeowner version, and then I got the manual steel backpack sprayer, and then just recently I got the Chapin battery-powered backpack sprayer. Both 4-gallon sprayers, but the battery-powered is definitely the way to go because you have a nice, smooth, consistent spray, and you can just knock it out a lot quicker and easier. So, but I'll still use that for smaller yards when I need to. That's just the evolution of my business. Everyone's got their own formats. I just try to share my ideas, what works for me, what hasn't worked for me, what isn't working for me, what is, and so on. Just because I've gotten value from all of you out there, either commenting on my videos or making your own videos, as well as I hope that I've given value back to you watching my videos. So this is just what I'm doing right now. So I'm just going to open this up. All put together. Honestly, my biggest concern is just making sure I get this securely on the front of my grandstand. Well, I'm no fabricator by any means, but there she is. Just trying to get everything calibrated and see what's going on before I actually put chemicals in. I'll definitely be wearing my proper PPE before I spray any chemicals. Which is what you should do before you start using a new spreader. Always fill it up with water, not the whole thing, just a couple of gallons, just so that you can calibrate it and see how much those gallons are getting per 1,000 square feet, as well as adjusting the spray capacity, the spray patterns and things like that. Just get to know your sprayer first. And sometimes, if you haven't used it in a while, it might need to be recalibrated because something might have gotten tweaked or knocked around in storage or something, and you have to redo it. So, but always use water. And